Hey guys, how you doing? Sorry, I have a brand new camera and I linked it up to YouTube and it sent me this notice. Hey, guess what? You can use these features. And for the first minute and a half, I couldn't get the stupid words off the screen, so that's why I was just staring like this. Anyway, I want to show you guys. I plan to do a tutorial on this, but it's getting late in the day and I hadn't gotten to anything, so I thought, why don't I just go live? I want to show you guys. Hi, 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 hi. Paulie, Yolanda, Sharon, Mary, Patty, Miss Avenger. Wow, we're already up to 48, 46 people. Annette, Judy. This is the easiest type of handmade jewelry. Takes no skill. In fact, it's the very first thing I teach to 7 and 8 year olds if they want to just have a fun time immediately with zero learning curve, zero frustration. You just need a table, magic stretch cord, stretch magic, or you can get any kind of, but I like this 1 millimeter kind because it's stronger and thicker, and you can get it clear or black. I like the black because it almost looks like it's made of something better than plastic, although it's really just stretchy plastic. But anyway, stretch magic, get the 1 millimeter. You get it thinner if you have really beads with tiny holes, but the thinner stuff breaks more easily. But you just need this, some beads, and you should get a little bit of crazy glue gel. Crazy glue gel comes in the green cap, not the red cap. See, here's the green. Let me see if I have the red cap to show you the difference. Well, no, I don't. You want the green cap. It says gel. The red is all watery, and it'll go everywhere. You want the gel. You get this at the Dollar Tree, dollar store. Get two of them for $1. That's all you need. This, and some beads. Beads, you can get beads anywhere. I have 3 bead kits still online that people can purchase. I'm going to put up a whole bunch more. But we're looking here at, this is Barefoot Hippies donation from a couple days ago. And I'm just going to use this and make a whole bunch of rustic stretch cords. Stretch beaded bracelets. And I also brought, just to make them in, I have a ton of these barrel wood beads that I got when I basically just bought a whole bunch of dollar store necklaces and took these apart like a few years ago, and I got just thousands and thousands of these. So I still have a ton left, and they really fill out a necklace, a bracelet easily, because they're long. It only takes about 5 of them with maybe a couple round beads in between to make a decent sized bracelet. But any kind of barrel beads are fun. There's a ton of these bone barrel beads. Barrel just basically means longer beads that have kind of a fatter shape in the middle. So I got a ton of these from Barefoot Hippies, and I'm going to make them with you guys because it's just fun. And you could do this watching a movie, sitting at your kitchen counter, just looking out the window, sitting on your porch, watching the sunset. Your hands are restless. You want to be productive with your life, even when you're relaxing. You just take this out and you just start stringing a pattern on. You can do a pattern of the same bead. It could be all the same bead, or it could be alternating, brown, black, brown, black, brown, black, or it could be alternating 3, like brown, black, red, brown, black, red. Or you can make a really intricate pattern. It doesn't matter. It's just relaxing and fun, and you can sell these suckers to anybody. You could put 20 of them on your wrist when you go out and hang out with friends. They'll be like, what are all those on your wrist? Be like, oh, what's your favorite? Oh, this one? Okay, pull it right off, pop it on their wrist. Oh, no, I sell these. Oh, how much you sell them for? Well, I sell them for like $12, but you're my friend. $5, it's yours. Oh, honey, thank you so much. There you go. You made sales while you thought you were just hanging out with your friends. So anyway, I don't even know where to start. I have tons of these. I started organizing them with Marley last night, and we got some of them into this container, and we got some of them into this container, and we got some of them into this container, and we still have piles and piles and piles more of this. I think she just got a big lot from eBay. That's what I think. Because we were talking like, where did she get all these? We've never seen any of these in stores. They're all bone. And bone is generally more expensive than some of the other type, like glass beads and stuff, and wood beads. But I think glass beads and wood beads are great. I'm not into plastic, but, you know, people do plastic and they don't mind, especially if it looks kind of crystally. So anyway, I don't even know where to start. They all look so good. I'm going to start with one of my wood beads just because they have a big hole, and I like to hide a knot in the hole. Yeah, come on over, Annette. Help us sort beads. That'll be great. How far away are you? Are you near Eastern PA? Or if you do you have transportation? So what I do, I keep it on the spool when I start, so you have less chance of losing the beads. If you make 100 of these, I guarantee at least once you're going to drop them all, and they're going to spill all over the floor while you're just finishing up a bracelet, while you're trying to knot it. It's just like a rite of passage. It'll happen to you. Ooh, look, I'm running low on this. I got to get more. But anyway, I don't like this. Sometimes you get little kinks too. I don't like that little kink there. That looks like that could be a weak spot, so I'm going to cut it off. But I like to find a bead with a big hole to hide the knot in. If you can't hide the knot, don't worry about the knot. No one will notice the knot. They look at your beads. But if possible, I like to hide the knot. So I start with the bead I'm going to hide the knot in, because it's going to come back around to that. And then, yeah, you just want to touch them. Yeah, it's kind of I guess it's kind of therapeutic. Wait till I get the pottery studio. Oh, it's really therapeutic to play with clay. Feel like you're a kid again. So I got my brown bead, and now I think I want some kind of a flat bead to stick in there. I got all these cool ones. So cool. So I'm gonna take two of these little, they look like little spaceship. They look like little flying saucers. And I'm gonna put that on there. That's cool. And just that little tiny accent like adds a ton. Now I want something round. What am I gonna go for? Look at these. These are really cool. I thought these were clay, but Barefoot Hippies told me everything is bone. It's painted bone. It's etched bone. So I like these. Another thing is, don't overthink it. Like what I'm doing right now. Just start stringing them on. Don't overthink it too much. I go back and I change patterns so many times. So don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. Just pop another one on. I'm gonna pop this one on. It's kind of cool. Now I want a bigger one. I want a big. Now I'm making these for guys. These are guy bracelets, or you know, it could be for women too. That's the thing. Women can wear what guys can wear. Guys are a little reticent to wear what women wear, but it goes the other way much more easily. So if you make stuff for guys, you're gonna have stuff just for guys. Guys will be like, yeah, that's for me, and then the women wind up getting some for themselves anyway, because that's how it works. I want a nice round neutral color. See, I'm overthinking it already. I should just grab the first thing I see. Okay, I'm gonna get these guys. They look like wood, but they're more bone because it comes from the same thing here. Oh yeah, I like that pattern. That's a cool pattern. All right, now I'm gonna go back to this, and then go back to the little black disc, and then go back to my long wood one. And I'm telling you, this is the funnest. Look at this. Look at how fun. Isn't that a cool pattern? Oh, doesn't matter that I got a new camera. Once YouTube takes over the software, they control where it focuses. But so I have to like cover everything with my hands so they'll focus on what I'm showing you. Otherwise, they want to immediately focus back down on the table without asking me. See how they do that? But that's a cool pattern, right? Really fun. And now, like I said, you only got to do this like 5 times, and you'll have a complete bracelet that's about a 7.5, 8, which is like an average guy size. Plus, these are stretchy, so that they give it, you don't have to have the exact wrist shape. And women are much more forgiving. They'll let it bounce around and be kind of like a bangle. Whereas men are like, I like mine to be just a certain amount of tightness where I can get a finger or two in there, but it's not like, it's not so tight that it makes me feel hot, but it's not so loose that it's bouncing around. So I do this one next. Then one of these wood ones. I think I did one of the lighter wood ones. Or they look like wood. They're still bone. They're, in my mind, I keep saying wood because they just look like wood. And then one of these, and then one of the black discs. And then one of these dark brown wood. These are real wood because I got these from my stash. Yes, my hands have been known to model. They walk the runway. Sometimes they do like little hand can. Dun 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 dun. That's not even the right song. You know what song that is? Dun 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 dun. Hey la, my hand model's back. Dun 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 dun. Hey la, my finger kicks are back. Dun 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 dun. Hey, you wanna be exciting? Hey, you thought I was inviting? You're coming around to watch me do the leg kicks with my little finger legs. Da 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 da. See how easy it is to make people happy. See, it's so, isn't it fun? It's so fun, Deanna. And this is so, I don't even need to pay attention. I can do this and still read your comments, which is something I never am able to do when I'm watching these things. I have to focus on the piece intently. So this is a common thing I like to do. I like to do long bead, one or two flat beads, round bead, one or two flat beads, back to long bead. That's just a pattern I think is cool. It'll make a cool necklace too. This will make a great necklace. You don't want to use stretch cord for the necklace because it'll just keep getting stretched out and stretched out. You don't want that because the necklace, you want to get that beading cord, which is like a fishing line mixed with metal, and it's really, really strong. And then you got to get these little crimp beads to make a loop. It's a little annoying. I haven't done it much because I get annoyed by those crimp beads, but I think I'm going to make some necklaces because this is like, thanks to Barefoot Hippies, I got some really cool design patterns in here. Whoops, I almost forgot the little black disc right before. You can make matching bracelets and necklaces. And this is where, like, guys generally don't wear chokers, but when you make a cool pattern like this, you can give it to a guy and he can have it pretty high up on his neck. Like, not quite a choker, but maybe like 2 or 3 inches longer, like maybe 1.5 inches down by his collar. Guys are cool with that because then it'll show underneath like a button-down shirt that's open in front a little bit. Or even like with a t-shirt, it'll show a little bit on the outer edge of the collar. And this stretch cord is like $3. Go to Michael's, make sure you look for the online coupon. They have an online coupon like every day. If you know someone who is a teacher or military person, you'll get 15% off on top of everything else. You booped the button, just like booping a little rabbit's nose. Boop the button. I don't like telling people to boop the button. Let them do it on their own. If they're really happy enough to see the like button, they'll do it. But you know, a lot of people forget. They want to do it and then they forget. And people say you got to remind them. Nah, I don't like reminding them. It feels tacky. The worst is when you open a video. I hate this. You start a video and like people are like, "Hi, my name is so and so. This is my video. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button and turn on the bell." And you're like, "Dude, you haven't even done anything yet. You haven't even showed me the video. How do I know I like it? How do I know I want to subscribe?" Oops, look, I'm getting so into this. I put 2 of the wrong bead. Maybe I'm not going to like your video at all. Why would I do that? I'm like, and then I don't like it because I get snarky. I get petty about that kind of stuff. Like in the beginning, when I was making videos, I used to say at the very end of the video, don't forget to subscribe if you feel like it, or don't. I don't care. And then somebody told me, you should stop saying that because that's like, people are going to be like, maybe I don't care. But I don't care if they don't care. I don't care. You know, if you like something, you like it. I'm not going to tell you guys what you're supposed to like. This is really fun. You know, you guys, you know, all the best stuff is on the other side of fear. I was not feeling up to this. I wanted to go home and just, it's for some reason it's extra cold in my studio today, and I'm usually immune to cold. I love cold. My temperature runs hot, so I can deal with cold that most people can't stand, but I'm still acclimated to the summer and late fall warmth, and this cold front just came on out of nowhere on the East Coast here, and it's a wet cold. It's like an icky wet cold where it hovers right around 32, and it just caught me all of a sudden, and oh, look, I almost went too far. That's more than a bracelet there. It's enough for a necklace. So you never fear, you just pop one off. See how it looks? That's good size. That's slightly big for my wrist. So sometimes I like to follow the pattern. I like to, you know, totally follow the pattern every time. So there's no beginning and no end. But other times I'm like, nah, I want this to fit my wrist and this is a little big. So I'm going to break the pattern. I'm going to take this identical ones, because if it's a cool pattern, like make 3 in a row if it's not going to bore you. But look at that. See, if I put those 2 together, that's weird. I broke up the pattern. That's okay. But I'm not going to totally break it up. I'm going to just put that 1 bead in the middle. So that way it doesn't look super. See, you can't even tell hardly if you're not looking for it. It doesn't look super weird, but it definitely is a little different. In fact, I'm going to add the other two. I'm just going to take the black discs off, and I'm going to add these 2. Like that. Let's see. See if that didn't make it too big. See, now you can't even tell where the pattern is messed up. Those teeny tiny black one. So that's kind of cool. It's kind of big. Yeah, you know what? I'll just eat more jelly beans this week, and it'll fit my wrist. I'll just get a little chubbier. That'll work. So now we make a knot like we're tying a shoelace, right? This camera's just gonna focus all over the place because it's being a jerk. And see, I don't control this. This is the YouTube software that takes over, and it's optimized to show people's faces. So when I hold up something like this with my hands, it doesn't know what to do. All right, so you start like this, and then you come around your finger like that, and you tuck it under again, just like you're tying a shoelace, but you make an extra knot. Pull it about an inch on each side, about 2 centimeters out. You pull it coming to the end of its tension. Pull it, give it like 2 or 3 tugs, and then come around and do like 2 or 3 more knots. Pull around, because otherwise this thing's going to come undone. Pull around. I usually do 5. I usually do 5. I think that's 5, right? Then when you're done with 5, you don't leave it because that knot, this part's slippery. It's going to come undone. Now you take your crazy glue gel and take the tiniest bit. You dab it right on the knot. Dab it right on there. Put the cap back on immediately or this stuff keeps coming out. If it starts spurting out, wipe it on a handy that you're not going to use later. And then get the cap back on. Okay, now let's return to this. It's all icky. You got a big glob of glue on there. Keep a napkin handy. Keep a piece of plastic that you don't care about, you're going to throw out, paper towel, anything. Get in there and squish it and squeeze the excess out. That squeezes the excess. It also gets the glue into the crevices of the knot. Squeeze a few times. All right, now throw this thing somewhere where you're not going to actually touch it again by accident. Now you come up like this, and you take your scissors, and you leave 2 little rabbit ears. And that's about it. You cut it, boom, 2 little rabbit ears, see? Not even barely, more like mouse ears. And then if you're smart enough or lucky enough to find a bead with a big hole, you see if you can tuck it under. Now see, I'm touching with my fingers now. Most of that glue is gone. I'll get a little bit on my fingers by the end of the night, but I don't care too much. Try not to get on your fingers. It's not bad for your fingers, but it will glue your fingers together. And it'll keep that, put crustiness on your tips of your fingers, and that stuff won't come off for like a day. So see that? The knot's gone. Cool pattern, right? It's a fun pattern, right? I'd wear this all day. It's a little rustic. Pretty cool, huh? Okay, let's make another one. And you can do this with pretty beads, with your leftover semi-precious stones. You could do it, get the clear stuff if you're going to use like see-through clear, like amethyst and rose quartz, pretty beads, because then it looks more dainty, and this black kind of shows through. If it's a see-through bead, it looks a little not as good. But use up your pretty beads. You say you got a bunch of pretty beads, and you use some for a necklace, you use them for earrings, and you have a bunch left over, and you don't really want to do anything with them. Make a stretch bracelet. But if you're going to use pretty beads like amethyst and rose quartz, charge a little bit more. Like this guy, I could charge $10. I'd be happy with 5. There's very little material, very little effort. But if I strung this whole thing with rose quartz or amethyst, then if I was in my store, I would charge 20. I would put a little jump ring and a little silver charm on the end, like a little leaf or a little heart, and then I would charge 20. But I would still be happy with 10, but I'd start at around 20 if I was using all semi-precious stones. You know, kind of gauge the audience. But, you know, make sure you're at least making a little bit of money off of it. More, you know, you're not just charging what the materials cost. What are we going to do now? Let's do another one. Let's use, these are beads. They were tan, but I put a dab of red, black spray paint in a cup, and I shook them up, and now they're like orange, kind of orangey brown. Pretty cool. So I'm going to use, now again, I only used what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, that was it. It's a good number. There's 5 of these. And I'm going to pick the one that's like it has the biggest hole opened up. And that one right there. That looks good. You can all, bead reamers work really good in these wood beads too. Opens them up real quick. E6000 super glue, same difference. E6000 is a little bit more bendable once it dries, but technically their E6000 is not supposed to be good to get on your skin or to breathe. It has a very slight risk of stuff that, you know, people warn about, but that's why, like, this stuff was actually originally made to glue wounds together. It's much more hypoallergenic, you might say, if you get the fumes too much. See, I get stuck in patterns, and I just keep doing them. Once I find a I'm gonna make these little guys over here. These little, they look like eyeballs. Kind of cool. Put one of these, and then I'll get one of these big black ones. One of these. I don't like that. That's too, I want to be more subtle. That's a little bit too Flintstone-y. I got so much to choose from. Like, I can be really choosy. Ooh, I'm going to dig in some of these others. Yeah, there's some other cool ones around here. All right, so I'm going to stick with this. I like this. This time I'm going to do 2 black discs. 1, 2. I'm still going to do this strange one here that I like. And then I'm going to go over here in this box and find something cool in here. Let's see. These red ones look just kind of like that long bead I have. Similar to the color that I have. I think I'm going to get this red one. Yeah, it looks just like the one I painted. And then I'm going to get this one. Ooh, no, I'm going to get this black one. Make a complex pattern here. A little more complex. Then I'm going to get this tan one. Okay, then I'm going to go back and do the reverse of all of that. And I'm probably going to end up using less. I'm probably going to do this pattern one less time because the pattern's extra big. So I'm not going to need all 5. That one, and then sometimes you get, if you make a pattern too complex, you have to look at it real carefully or you'll start to forget to do it the right way. So that one, we'll do 2 of these again. So as I was saying, like, it's buffering. I wonder why it's buffering. Let me see. No, I don't want to do that. Oh, sorry about that. I tried to check the Wi-Fi and it kicked me off for a second. You guys are still here? Okay, good. You're all still here. Oof, there we go. I don't know why it's lagging. How's it doing now? All right, okay at the moment. All right, go back and do the pattern. We got another long one. You guys should take out some beads. Do this with me. You don't have stretch cord yet, you say? Well, just lay out some patterns. Line up some beads. Just line them up. Make a little crevice. Take a napkin and then draw a little crevice with a pen and then line up the beads in the crevice. Line up enough for yourself and then go out and buy stretch cord tomorrow and then you'll have them all ready. Line them up on the table somewhere where no cat or child will get to them before tomorrow, if such a place exists for you. And it's funny, like, this is a more complex pattern than my first one. I still like my first one the best. When you find something that works, like, you know, don't be afraid to do it 100 times. As long as you're not bored, as long as you're enjoying it. I mean, that's what, when they mass produce stuff, they find one design that works and they do it like 1,000,000 times. Well, you found a design that works that you came up with. Don't feel bad about doing it at least 100 times. It's still handmade. It's still something you're not going to find in any store. Um, so like, what do you guys like better? Do you like the pre-recorded videos with the editing and the silly craziness, or do you like the live shows better, or do you like both? You can vote one, the other, or both. If you like both equally. I'm just curious. These are easier to do. The live shows are easier. I don't have to go back and edit anything. I don't have to set up any crazy camera angles. But I feel like the edited ones are more smooth and they give people more quality information in a small bite so they don't have to sit around for too long waiting for, and one vote for live, one vote for both. One vote for anything. Oh, wait, no, two. No, wait. Oh, there's a bunch of votes I missed. One vote for live. All right, one both, one live, two both, two live, three both, three live, four both, five both, four live, six both. I think we're, all right. Okay. Well, that's good. Because I'm telling you guys, I can go live more often. I just put it off because I feel like I went live like 5 times this week. I need to sit down and focus on a real video. Most YouTubers go live like once a month, and the rest of the time they're just making edited videos. Is it because that's what YouTube is used to? Is it because they think it'll work better? Or is it because they're shy? They're scared to go live as often as I am. Maybe I'm just the bravest person and I don't know it yet. See, this one might finish after only 3 of the pattern because I got so much going on here. I've done patterns so complex I only needed to repeat them once. Just two sets of the pattern, and that was it. The bracelet was done. It doesn't have to be a mirror pattern either, where you go all the way up to the middle and then come all the way back down with the same beads. I mean, it could be like red, blue, green, red, blue, green, red, blue, green, red, blue, green. Or black, tan, brown, black, tan, brown. All right, see that? It might be finished right there. And, I said I didn't like this pattern as much. Now I kind of really like it, now that I see it all together. Yep, look at that. That's a finished bracelet right there. Now, this is a little bit on the small side for my wrist. Like the other one is a little bit on the big side. So I have a pretty average wrist if it's going to go to a guy, so I like to base it off of my wrist, although it's good to have some a little on the small side, some a little on the big side. So I'm just going to finish this because there's a lot of guys out there with skinnier wrists because they don't eat as many Pop-Tarts. I actually think Pop-Tarts are a little bit gross, but they are kind of convenient sometimes. They're definitely not healthy in any possible way. I don't know how people have them for breakfast. Ugh. Oh, I forgot to put the glue. See, if you cut it first before you put the glue, it might start coming undone, but that's why I always leave a couple little bunny rabbit ears tips, just in case. Where did I put that super glue? There it is. Let's see, I guess there's another piece of plastic. And we'll try to get that in to the bead. There it goes, it's in. Pull it from the other side, wiggle it, and it disappeared. It's gone. Boo, 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 doo, boo, doo, doo, doo. Yeah, that's a fun pattern. So here's our 2 patterns so far. Both fun. The cool thing about guys is, or people who like more simple, rustic or masculine stuff, is like, you don't have to make it that pretty. You don't have to go out of your way. Like, just sometimes, like, let's do a real simple pattern. We're just gonna go one long bead, right? One long bead, one kind of flat black bead, and one of these dark brown, but it's a different kind of dark brown than the reddish. That's more of a reddish, that's more of a yellowish. And that's it. And then we'll go back to the black, like Amy Winehouse did. They're kind of, some of these are so rustic, so kind of broken in laces. That's okay. We'll go back to this one. And I mean, you can go even simpler than this. You can just string a whole bunch of plain earth tone beads of the exact same color. And there are some people who will think it's awesome. But here you go. Very simple pattern, right? This is going to work. I might need to do 6 of them because it's a smaller pattern, but repeat the pattern 6 times. That's fine. No, the glue is not going to damage the cord. What it will do, super glue, if you put too much of it, if you leave a big glob of it and you don't wipe off the excess, when it dries, it gives off fumes, and those fumes will and leave like a foggy crystal icing, and scratch it off with your fingernail, but it's kind of annoying. So anytime you're working with super glue, if you really glob it on like crazy, and especially if you close it up in a closed area, like if you put it in a bag or put it in a box while it's drying, but even if you don't, it'll leave this white, snowy residue, crystallized residue, like around the edges of, it'll like flow across where you don't want it. So that's the only hazard I found, that and gluing your fingers together, but it's not going to hurt the cord at all. It's generally a stretch cord, which is kind of a plastic. But I squeeze out the excess so that it will dry really fast. And it also dries really fast when it's thin. And when it's thick, it takes forever to dry. If you get a glob of it like that, it'll take a good half hour to an hour to dry. But if you take that same glob and smear it across a piece of paper till it's like razor thin, it'll dry in like 2 minutes. Yeah, you can use E6000. It'll work. Either one. Certain E6000 and super glue are my 2 go-to glues. And for stretch cords, I favor the super glue. For thousand in the bottom of the rings, I don't as much now because, like I said, people are a little bit afraid it's not the healthiest thing for you, and I don't know if that's when it's just wet or when it's dry too. And I've kind of developed to learn to make rings without needing it. But I used to use a lot of it to hold little parts of rings together, so I could do really creative stuff and not have to secure it with too much trouble. Just glob a whole bunch of yeast. All right, let's see if that's enough to finish it. Yep, that's good. You can go one more. This is like generally slightly smaller than average wrist. Or for like a female, this is probably about an average wrist. You put one more pattern and it's going to be slightly larger than average wrist, about like that. That's the big guys, the big truckers and sumo wrestlers and stuff. But anyway, this is slightly below average, but for a lot of people it'll fit perfect. So I think I'll finish it. But if you come to this and you want to make it a little bit more, but you don't want to add a whole nother big barrel bead, you can repeat your pattern again. So I'm going to show you how to do that. It's just a little trick. I mean, it's not like I'm teaching you rocket science. You could have figured this out on your own. I mean, you probably already did this. You're probably like, duh. But some people are like, they don't realize you can break rules, little simple rules here and there, and nobody even notices. So I'm repeating the small part of the pattern again on the end, not the long part. I'm just repeating these guys again. And look, you hardly notice. Wider enough that it's going to fit my wrist instead of some puny girly man wrist who does not work out enough, or doesn't eat enough Pop-Tarts. We'll make our little knot. Yeah, it could be. It could be a lot of people logging on all at the same time. Still having a lot of troubles. Does it do a lot of buffering? Is my voice sounding robotic? I listened to one of the playbacks and I sounded like I was turning into a. Yeah, if you're making like a bracelet with a charm, like more for a feminine type bracelet, when you have a whole bunch of beads stacked up right here, you can put a jump ring and hang the charm off of that area, and then it, like a net, it becomes a focal point. Just think of buffering like a comfort. Like when I hear buffering, I feel like it's like cloudy pillows softening your way so nothing is too harsh. So just be like, oh, it's buffering again. It makes me feel comfortable. The buffering comforts me. Okay, the knotting, it's just like a shoelace. I mean, you can do a complex knot. Somebody talked about a box knot and then another knot. But all you need to do is just literally take the cord, pretend this is just the stretch cord. Just make a circle, put it through, boom, knot, and then do it again. Make a circle, tuck it under, pull a knot, boom, 5 times. Just pulling it tight each time because the cord's really slippery, and if you make it loose, it's going to start unwinding as you watch. So pull it tight, make about 5 knots on top of each other, and then put a dab, pulling it tight each time. Don't pull it so hard the cord breaks, but pull it till you feel it come right to the end of its tension. And then a little dab of crazy glue in there, like a tiny little dot. Take some plastic or a napkin or paper towel, squeeze and rub it into the knot. Throw that away, or if you keep it on your table, make sure you don't touch the part you just used, would get more glue on you. And then cut the ends, leave like tiny little tabs just in case. And then try to tuck it into, if you have a bead with a big hole, try to start it with that bead so you can tuck the knot in at the end. Kind of tuck the knot in and then pull it from the other side. But I'll demonstrate it on the next one. I'll try to do a close-up. So, see, I got 3 now. They're all kind of similar. Each one's a little different, though. Let's break away from it. All right. We'll do these tan ones. And we'll do these black ones. These are weird. They're like tan on one side and then they roll over and they're brown. Now these are all mixed. These are all different. All right, that looks good. I'm trying to find. You know what? If it rolls, it rolls. I'm gonna fight it. I can't fight this feeling deep inside of me. Girl, you got me wanting. When I get that feeling, girl, there is no cure. I'll just be addicted to wanting more. It's a good love when we're all alone. Keep it up, oh, yeah, you turn me on. I'm hooked on a feeling, so high on believing that you won't. Sometimes it's fun to just stretch the pattern out. I found this. You can use the lid up against something. It's easy. You just pull from the big box and you line up your pattern right there. And then you'll start to get a feel for how long a certain kind of bracelet once you do a bunch. But I'm lining these up. Luckily, they're weird shaped enough that they're not rolling away. I have a problem with thinking I can take totally round beads and just place them on a very slippery table, and then they start rolling away. And instead of changing my methods, I just yell at them because it's therapeutic to take out your aggression on your art supplies. Yeah, I need to go back in time and find whoever redid that song and hide them in a cave until that horrible idea passes from their brain. Such a good song. And then some horrible people came along and said, let's redo this song and make it sound completely stupid. Like, can't even find the original version as easily as you can find the stupid version. Oh, so irritating. Once in a while, someone will redo a song and make it better. But usually, it's the original is so much better. It's just how it is. Can't help it. Betsy Ross. I can't let you have this one. I have to fight it. I have to fight this feeling deep inside of me. Who sings that song? It's tearing me apart every day. It's tearing me apart. Girl, what can I say? Who sings that? Who knows who sings that? That voice is insane. I know you guys know. Jackson Browne wrote Take It Easy. I thought Glenn Fry wrote that. Now I'm annoyed. Yeah, like, I mean, sometimes people make it better. Look at, what's it called? Both Sides Now? Who is that? I almost said Julie Andrews. It was, Judy, not Judy Blume. That was an author. Who wrote Both Sides Now? Oh, club version. Forget it. Yeah, Laura, that's just ridiculous. They're not even trying to remake it. They're just being silly. Is it Jefferson Starship? I wasn't sure if it was the Orleans because that guy's voice is amazing too. But he's loving, squeezing, but he's like singing up really squeezing another. He's tearing you apart every day. Oh my gosh, he goes so high and he's so clear, so crystal clear, and so like just blasting that voice. Yeah, BJ Thomas. Is that the good version? That's the version without the cavemen in the background. All right, let's see if we have enough here. That's enough for a petite female. I'm going to do one more because this is a small pattern, so I can do one more and it's not going to extend it. When you have a fat pattern, it'll be too tiny, and then you add just one more set of the pattern, and now it's too big. That's why it's okay to modify the last pattern, the last set of your pattern. If you need to. You made the rules, you can break them. There's no rules, you can change anything you want. They say a bracelet is for the wrist and an anklet is for the ankle, right? Well, if you made it, you can change those rules. Make a wrist anklet. Make a a brace anklet. Make it a figure 8. You could put your wrist and your ankle into it. You can't really get anywhere. You can't get off the couch without tripping over, but you'll have your wrist and your ankle in the same piece of jewelry. It'll also come in handy for when you want to tie somebody up for if you have to restrain them for some reason. But it'll be a style, the fashion runway models will have to go walking down the run, hobble along kind of somehow. Oh yeah, that came out real good. Look at that. It looks like bamboo. You can also modify your beads, especially if you have like wood or bone or like earth tone type stuff, clay beads. Don't be afraid to take a paper cup, take some oil-based spray paint, which most spray paint is oil-based. Spritz just 2 spritzes on the side of the cup. Put the beads in there, cover up the cup with a piece of paper, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, and that paint will just evenly coat, thinnest coating that it'll change the color a little bit. You can modify the color a lot. If you have really cool beads, but they're like this maybe, and they're like, ew, that's too it's too bright. I want it more dull, or I want it more, come on, focus camera. I want it more, like it looks too like childish. Add a little black. It'll dull or darken any color, but still keep the general shade. Oh, I said I was going to do this. Sorry. So you wrap it around your finger like this, or 2 fingers. Make a circle, right? Tuck it under, and pull. That, and then pull till it comes to the end of the tension. That, and then just do it again, and just keep stacking up the knots till you have about 5 of them, and it looks like this. Then take one little dot of crazy glue, put it right on there, right on top of the knot. Put the cap on right away so it doesn't keep coming out. Take a piece of plastic or a paper towel or a napkin, squeeze it. Squeeze it once or twice, get all the residue off, and get the glue, the crevices of the knot. And then get your scissors, do one at a time or both together if you're super skilled like this, and cut all 2 little teeny tabs just so it doesn't come undone. Make it look like a little, what does that look like? It looks like a little lamb. Looks like a little black sheep. And then see if you can tuck it. I can't tuck this one, and that bead doesn't have a big enough hole. So this knot's going to be there, but no one's going to see it, because look, you don't see the knot, you see all the beads. I mean, your guys see it because you're looking at it. But if I just threw this in my hand all of a sudden, you wouldn't be like, oh, I see a knot. See, actually now it's rolling, it's hiding, it's right there. See, can't see. Oh, peekaboo. Little lamb's playing peekaboo. Peekaboo. Where'd he go? Peekaboo. Peekaboo. So don't be afraid to let your knot show. It sounds like some kind of a slogan for something. Don't be afraid to let your knot show. Your knot what? Don't be afraid to let your knot something. I don't know. Yeah, I leave it. It was the first thing I said if you came in late. I leave it on the spool until I'm done. Because there's 2 ways the beads are going to fall off. They're going to fall off this way, or you're going to fall off the other side. If you leave it on the spool, you're eliminating one of the chances of you accidentally spilling all the beads while you're trying to string it. Which, if you string 100 of them and you start to get tired, you're going to drop them at some point. Some point, I guarantee you're going to sit there trying to knot, and all of a sudden you'll let go of it, it'll slip out of your fingers, all the beads will go everywhere. And that's a rite of passage. Don't get upset when it happens. Be like, I have come across, I am now in a full bracelet stretch beater, because it has to happen to you at least once before you can join the club. And yeah, so keep it on the spool. Another good thing about keeping it on the spool is, you have to cut the ends. Well, if you keep it on the spool as much as possible, there's less ends, less waste. So there's like an extra inch you save with every bracelet. And out of an entire spool, that will get you like a whole extra bracelet or 2. So, here we go. Here's another one. See, it's a little loose, but it's not bouncing around like a bangle, which annoys me. And it moves up and down a little bit, but not too much. And if I put a bracelet on either side of it, it's not going to move. This one is a little smaller. It fits. It's a little bit snug. It doesn't feel uncomfortable. It actually is fine. If I had to wear it, I would wear it. This one, and when you put these on and off, roll them. If you roll them like this, tell the people who buy them, roll them. It'll keep the life of the cord will last longer. It won't. What happens to the cord, if it gets stretched too much, it starts to stretch out. And then at some point, if it gets snagged on something, it'll break. But this 1 millimeter is the strongest. And as long as they're careful with it and they take it off by rolling it like that, generally they could wear it every day for over a year or longer, and it's not going to stretch out or break or anything. I don't think I've ever had one break on me. I've worn some for months and months, and I've never had one break. And I've had people come back to me and said theirs broke, and I fixed it for free if they come back to me, because, it only costs me about a few cents a cord in a couple minutes. If they bring me all the beads back, sometimes they lose some of the beads, and then I got to throw in extra beads, and I'm like, well, I had to add extra beads, you lost them, so I have to charge you about $100 this time. And they're like, that's cool. It, then go for it, because I'm just telling you the simplest that I know. For men, it's you can say 7.5, you can say 8, but there's really no real answer, because first of all, when they're lined up like this and you take a ruler to measure, and when I said 7.5 and 8, I meant inches, but when you line them up like this, that's not going to tell the true size of them, because once you roll them in a circle, fatter beads are going to take up more space. So generally what I do, try to eyeball what an oval looks like for the average guy, and then get a bunch of friends and family that are guys and have them try them on. Just have them try them on. Like, okay, you have a thick wrist, that fits you. You have a thin wrist, that fits you. You have, but generally guys don't like, women are cool with bangles often off their hand. Like, women are very, a lot of women are very, what's the word? Much more, they have a wide range of what they can tolerate with accessories. Men are way more specific. They wear less accessories. They want it to be just right. They don't want it to annoy them, or they don't want it to call attention to them. They want to put it on, forget it's there. So they generally want it to be not so sweaty in the summer, but just loose enough you can get a finger. So this is a little on the snug side, but it's pretty okay. This is a little on the loose side. It's also okay, but that's about the limit. Any looser than this, and I'm just speaking for about 90% of guys. I don't know. Who knows? There's every kind of taste out there that Coca Blossom 5. Cocoa Blossom. Ooh. Do cocoa? Does the cocoa plant make blossoms first? I learned something new, ladies. Let's start this purple, and we'll get this turquoise in here. And this blue. It's going to be a little bit more islandy. It's not going to be like straight up pretty, but it's still going to be more pretty colors than the guy ones I just. And again, just so you're kind of making it just for a lot of different with that style. I would sell these stainless steel men's rings, and I would just buy and sell them. I didn't make them. And I'd get women would buy, for about every 3 guys that bought one, a woman would buy one for herself. So this is a very, very tiny pattern. This one is going to take a while to get all the way around, but that's okay. Because we have all night. We have tonight. Don't need tomorrow. We have tonight, babe. Why don't you stay? Yeah, Betsy Ross, it's a bad connection tonight. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the location I am in this room. This is a different, it's only about 20 feet away from where I normally am, but maybe it's a slightly worse location for picking up the... I'll try this again. It's fine. Maybe it's just, maybe that's what it is. This was, you see the mess in the back? This was given as a gift to me, all these strands of bone, and it was just given to me by Barefoot Hippies. I have a video showing me on opening the box. You can watch that video. I did get a new camera, but I don't think the camera is what's making the buffering. I think it's because I think it's just... yeah, Barefoot Hippies really sends a really beautiful box every couple months. It's really nice. Let's see. So these we were just taking our empty containers, Marley and I were trying to organize all of these last night of the live show. So that's how we got them in this container like this. It didn't come like that. We're going through... But I was like, there's a potential for so many cool patterns in here. See, now I'm wishing I stuck these little dark blue ones in. That would have been cool. They look almost black, but they're dark blue. I don't want to forget. I'm going to start my next pattern just so I don't forget it. We'll do this one. We'll do this little dark blue one. And a little dark blue one. And we'll do this light blue, whitish one in the middle. Oh, that's going to be cool. It's going to be a tiny pattern. It's going to take forever to do it over and over and over. That's okay, because we have tonight. Who needs tomorrow? We have tonight, babe. Why don't you stay? Oh, Betsy Ross, people love you too, because you made the flag. That one has like some kind of roughage on it. I don't know if that's just some of them are like that or... For these, because I didn't pay for the materials, and generally you can get these are not high-end materials like amethyst or rose quartz, although bone can be more expensive than wood. But because I used a lot of my wood pieces in here, and I got these wood pieces really low priced. I was saying earlier, I would charge 10 for these, but I'd be happy to get 5. So I'd start at 10 because people are willing to pay 10. But then if they don't want to pay 10, I'd go down to 7 and then maybe go down to 5, and I'd be happy with 5. But the cool thing about this, if you just came in, that I said earlier, you can pop 9 or 10 of these on your wrist. You can stack them up on your wrist. And stack them up on both wrists and go to the bar, go out with your friends to get drinks, go out to dinner, hang out, go to a party, and you have them all on your wrist, like 20 of them on your wrist. And people will be like, what are all those on your wrist? Oh my gosh. And you'd be like, oh, I made these. Like, no way. I think they're awesome. Would you make me one? It'd be like, oh, we'll pick your favorite one. Yeah, normally I charge 10, but we're friends. Like, Can I just give it to you for 5? Oh, honey, sure. Pull out $5 bill. Here you go. And then the next thing you know, around you, ooh, I want this one. I want that one. I want that one. And then you go home. You have like 2 left on each wrist and $100 in your pocket. You see that? You thought you were going to a party? Nope. Sleuth marketing. You're secretly, but people aren't going to be like, oh, look at her. She added fun to our party. We all have to turn the volume down. I normally turn the volume down before I start a show. There we go. Oop, get out of here. Can you guys still hear me? Hopefully I didn't turn off the volume for you guys. That was super annoying. Yeah, some people might not say for it. So then you got to be a little more scrupulous, or whatever the word is. You got to like, yeah, I sell these for $12, like up the price, because you could get 12 in some markets. Be like, I sell these for 12, but you know what? We're friends. Pick anyone you want for 5, if you want. I mean, you don't have to. And they'll be like, 5, girl. Yeah, let me get that one. I'll take 2 of them. Can I get 2 for 10? Sure. And then everyone will surround you, and then they'll start shoving money at you. You'll walk away with $100, and then you'll be invited to new parties. They'll be like, hey, is that bracelet girl here? I want some. Sandra, do you have any bracelets for us today? And you'll be invited to tons of parties. Next thing you know, it's like the market will just come to you. And they'll be like, Sandra, can you come to my party next week and bring your awesome bracelets? Because I know this. And if people are like, well, I kind of want one, but I'm not sure I should buy it tonight, then you break out in song and you said, we got tonight, who needs tomorrow? We got tonight, babe. You call your friend babe. It'll add to the moment. Why don't you pay? That's what you say. Or if someone's like, we're best friends, can I have a free one? Be like, why don't you pay? You can drink OJ at the bar. I used to go to the bar and just I used to order a regular Coke because I didn't like drinking that much, but I wanted to hang out. I would order a regular Coke and one of those little straw things. I put the lime slice and the little straw thing in there, and people would be like, ooh, what'd you get? And I'd be like, taste it. And they'd be like, huh, can't even taste the alcohol in that. And be like, yeah, pretty smooth. Sometimes it went that way. Other times people would be like, is this just soda? I'd be like, I don't know. Costume party where I was selling my stuff at this years ago. This wasn't on their list, so I could come and their theme that night was the 1920s, 1930s, like old timey, whatever. Everyone was dressed up like, like that era, a grandparent or something. And I put that on. I got a top hat, like a fedora. And then I asked, my dad used to collect these old bottles. He would dig them up, like these old bottles out. He'd find them out in this wood, like out in these dirt piles out in the woods. Every now and then he'd dig up like a really, really old bottle from like 100 years ago, like a glass bottle that used to have medicine or something in it. He'd collect these. He had a whole bunch of them. I asked him if I could borrow one. So I took one that looked like it was from that era. I literally made iced tea, and I filled it up with iced tea. And I took it to this costume party thing, and I held it up, and I was like, hey, anybody want to taste it? And they're like, oh, what's that? And I said, it's moonshine. I made it myself. And they're like, no way, I'll try it. 7 out of 8 people were like, that is so good. It's so smooth. I can't even taste the alcohol. 1 out of 8 people were like, this is iced tea. And even when I was like, no, it's moonshine, they'd be like, no, this is iced tea. It's so funny how you can trick like the majority of people, but there's always that one person. Um, I was watching this crazy video. You can look it up, but there is apparently way back in the late 70s, but they hadn't like harnessed electricity yet or anything. Um, this one guy he made this robot. It was like it looked like a mannequin. It looked like a man. It had a mustache and everything, table in front of him with a chessboard on it. And it was all one complete structure. Like the mannequin was like attached to the table. He was like sitting table and he had like movable arms like this. And the guy put all kinds of gears and devices inside the box. And he would tell people this, he trained this mechanical robot device. This is before the word robot, I think, was even coined, but he trained him to play chess so well that he could beat anybody. And so all kinds of famous chess players came up and tried to play him, and he would beat most of them. And this is like in the 1790s, like before they even had electricity. How could they invent something like that? Even nowadays, that would be amazing. Like, so how could this be possible? Well, he played a whole bunch of people. Every once in a while, to a really good chess player, he would lose. One man, I mean, even Benjamin Franklin played him. Even Napoleon played him. This is a true story. One man said, I smell rat. I smell something fishy. Guess who that man was? He became a famous novelist. He said, I smell a rat. And he started to pay really close attention. He noticed that there was a particular assistant who would help set up this mechanical mannequin robot guy and be present at the beginning of the show when the main guy who owned him would show off all his gears, open up these little cabinets and little doors on the sides and show all the gears. And then this assistant would suddenly be gone during the chess match. He'd be gone. And then after the show, he'd be back. He said, that's very strange. Turns out that particular assistant happened to be a grandmaster chess player. And you can probably guess the rest. That very large block cube table attached to the mannequin that had the board on it. Guess what was hiding down under there, pulling a bunch of levers? But the final the funny thing about it is this mechanical chess player robot thing impressed this one guy who was an inventor so much that he went and invented his own mechanical device that turned out to be the forerunner to the real computer. So a phony hoax inspired a real inventor to invent the beginnings of what actually became the history works. Isn't that a great example of fake it till you make it, unintentionally? I think this is a good size. What do you guys think? More, because you never know. It's always a little safer to go bigger because a thinner wrist can have it as a bangle, whereas a thicker wrist, if it's too tight, it's going to be uncomfortable. You don't want it to stretch on someone's wrist so much that the beads come apart and you can see the cord. Then it's way too tight. Thanks, Annette. Lori, I'm not telling you to replay. Unless you come visit me in person, then I'll tell you the whole story. Actually I heard the story on someone else's video. It was such a good video, I watched it twice. I'll tell you who it is, but everybody else's channel is pretty awful, so I don't want to send you anywhere else. I'll just keep it to myself, and it'll be my secret. But if you come visit me in person, I'll tell you who it is. Well, between these bracelets and some deer antler necklaces and some arrowhead necklaces, you got yourself some men's stuff. And as I was saying earlier, you take one of these patterns and make it, about 4 times longer and you have a men's necklace. Just don't put a men's necklace on stretch cord. Stretch cord is not good for necklaces. It'll get stretched out too quickly. You want to get beading cord. Beading cord is not, it's about the same price, but it's much stronger, non-stretchable fishing wire kind of laced with metal. So it's like real strong. And you're gonna have to get crimp beads to make a little loop so you can close the end off and add clasps. And that's not terribly hard, but I haven't really taught too much on that, and I probably should. I need to make the knot first. Anybody ever see the movie Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? The hair palm, Dapper Dan. George Clooney's like every time he's in trouble, first thing he worries about is my hair. My hair. Is his hair properly oiled? Ooh, I can kind of fit that one in the purple bead. And yes, it's in. Haha. Let's wiggle it a little more, get it deeper in there. Okay. But it's in a lot more than before, so that's good enough. It's right there. All right. Now we have 1, 2, the 3, the 4, and the 5. I still like the first one the best. Sorry about all the buffering, guys. It might be the place I am in the room. I'll try again from a different location tomorrow. I'll hang on for another 5 minutes or so, and then we'll call it a night. Here's a trick for men. Just get round 8mm tiger's eye, and that's it. Just string a whole bunch of 8mm tiger's eye, this size, 8mm for men. String it, make a men's bracelet, sell it for 20 bucks or 15. I'm telling you, the strand will cost you about $5 depending on how much of a discount you get with coupons. And out of that strand, you might get 1.5 bracelets. Sell it for 15 bucks. Men will buy those all day long. Men love tiger's eye. Love tiger's eye. It is crazy. Also, black lava stone is actually very inexpensive. Men will buy a strand of they'll buy just black lava stone all day long. Black lava stone and tiger's eye mixed, you're doing good. That'll work too. Everybody's losing me. You've lost that internet connection. That internet connection, now it's buffering. Whoa. These are kind of cool. Let's use these. All right, you know what? I need to rest my voice anyway. I'll do more. Let's maybe hang out again tomorrow, you guys. I don't know what time, so I'm not going to promise, but just keep an eye out for the notifications, and I'll try to move this table to another part of the room, and hopefully that will fix it. Hopefully that's the only problem, but it might just be a lot of people logging on tonight. I don't know. Good night. Excuse me. Let's look at these. See, watch this. Bam, 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 bam. Look at that. That's 4. You don't even see them. I'm telling you, I could fit 10. Make them a little fatter, and you can give them away to people with thicker wrists. Just pile them right up. Pile them up on the other arm. 20. You got 20 on there. You sell those 20 for $5 each. That's $100. Now you're like raining in the money. Take that $100, spread it on your bed, roll around in it, throw it up, down like this, scream a victory whoop, and then, start to like press it into your face and like just get really crazy with it. And just tell yourself, I'm so rich. I'm so rich. I'm so rich. I'm going to start being snobby to everybody I know. I've never felt so rich in my life. It feels amazing. Oh. And then go out and buy yourself a monocle. And then get a mock posh British accent and just talk down to everybody you know. In a very like subtle, passive aggressive, haughty way. Oh, my dear, I see that you've become a little bit better at the service industry. Yes, that's okay. That's not bad. Not everyone can be wealthy like me. Yep, hope to see you guys soon. Take care. Good night, good night, good night, good night. Good night, good night. Betsy Ross, of course you do, because you're a classy lady. All right, good night, everyone.